Sahara TV, you're welcome back. In just a matter of weeks, Nigerians will be heading for the polls to either maintain President Goodluck Jonathan or to bring in a new president. Many Nigerians tip General Muhammadu Buhari as the most likely candidate in the event that government change occurs. How is his campaign going? To help us examine that, we have one of his top campaign team members to help us look at what the general is doing in his campaign and other matters. The Honorable Farouk Aliyu is no stranger at all to Nigerian politics. He was one-time minority leader in the House of Representatives, and he has recently made the news for a number of statements, some of which we'll examine in the course of this interview. You're welcome to Sahara TV, Honorable Adamu Aliyu. Farouk.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to speak with you once again. We met in Washington, D.C. some time ago, and you had a rather peculiar mission, which was to urge U.S. President Barack Obama to arrest President Goodluck Jonathan. What came of that?
Okay, what came of that, after submitting my letter, wanting the president to be arrested while he was in the U.S., it couldn't happen. And I was referred back to the Nigerian embassy in U.S. embassy in Nigeria, which I'm trying to work out. Still, we're supposed to have meetings with them about the human rights abuses that President Jonathan Goodluck, it's supervising in this country.
Okay.
So actually, that's my mission. Okay. And we have also written to The Hague, to ICC.
Yep.
So we're taking from all angles to ensure that President Jonathan Goodluck is brought to book because of the human rights
But
abuse.
you, at this moment, I guess your efforts are more directed towards using the ballot box to remove President Jonathan rather than have him arrested physically, as that seems to be
absolutely
taking time.
I mean, no. They are concurrently. First of all, even if President Jonathan loses election, we shall still pursue the case. We want him to be tried, and we want him to be prosecuted. If he's not found guilty, fine. I mean, the ballot thing is different. I mean, it's running concurrently.
Okay. All right.
The ballot thing, it's coming in the next 2 weeks, which, that one is a foregone conclusion. He will certainly lose the election.
Okay. All right. So let's move forward then. You are one of the top campaigners for opposition candidate General Muhammadu Buhari. You were actually in London recently on a fundraiser mission for him. Before we come to that, though, let me ask you: the general canceled a trip to the U.S. because U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry was visiting Nigeria. Did the general actually get to meet Secretary Kerry, and what did they discuss?
Of course, General Buhari was invited to meet John Kerry, and they met. The mission of John Kerry was to drive home a point to both us in the opposition and the ruling party, that there should be free and fair election, there should be non-violence in the election, whether before or after the election, and that the Nigerian government should, under no circumstances, postpone the election. And before Kerry came, there was an accord signed in Abuja in the presence of former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, for non-violence. That's during and before the elections, which both President Jonathan Goodluck and General Muhammadu Buhari signed to agree that they will do everything possible to ensure there is free and fair election, there is good contest, sportsmanship, and so on. But then whether that thing is taking place, is happening, it's another thing. But at least they have signed, and we expect their words to be their bond.
Okay. So my next question to you is obviously one that I've hinted already, your trip to the UK. How did that trip go? And judging from the mood of the people, what is likely to happen come February 14th?
Well, I went to UK for two things. One, on an invitation from the British Parliament to discuss the security situation in the country and the election. And secondly, to meet the Nigerian diaspora who are pro-General Buhari and PYO, that's Professor Yemi Osinbajo, for them to galvanize the Nigerians in the UK. Fundraising, which they have raised a lot of money, some computer hardwares, expertise, both in terms of material and intellectual. And we had 2.5 hours meeting where they put forth their concern over the way this country has been governed and their hope and aspirations that General Muhammadu Buhari becomes the next president. And I don't want to say how much money we have gotten from them, but it's a lot of money, I can tell you.
50 million, and I hear. Is that correct? Can you confirm that?
Is that what?
50 million naira, can you confirm that?
That's why I said I'm not going to tell you how much money they have contributed, but honestly, we are very proud. In fact, the thing that struck me most at the place was the diversity of the congregation. There were more Nigerians from other parts of the country than the north. And also there were more Christians in that gathering, and people who see Nigeria as one, people who don't think and see people from where they come from. And honestly, I was touched, and I hope and pray Nigeria will borrow, we that live in this country will borrow a leaf from what we saw that happens, what happened in the UK with the Nigerians in diaspora. These are people who have left this country because of bad governance, most of them. These are people who have passion for Nigeria. These are people who want good things for their country. And willing, about 100 of them are willing to come back for the election to ensure the success of General Muhammadu Buhari. And then one other also, we have a stretcher room in the campaign headquarters, which they offered themselves to come and run the place. Be part of the team that will run the stretcher room for the election. So we thank God and we commend them.
Okay, so in connection with what you just said, though, let me quote something that you said and seek some clarification. I'm quoting now, there are 120,000 polling units in Nigeria, and we will have androids at each polling station to provide real-time results. We're also urging people to stay at the polling station after the voting to ensure that they protect their votes. This obviously was a quote from you at the UK event. How much is technology going to play in this election? And if technology is anything to go, to assess who's going to win, you think the APC is prepared?
Absolutely, just like what I said in UK. Our party is prepared, and we have deployed a lot of technology into the contest, whereby, as I said, there will be real-time online reportage from each of these polling units. And we've devised some means that I don't want to say it on air, because I don't want our opponents to know what we're going to do to ensure that it will help them also to know that they are either leading or they are losing. We're willing to share, because look, we are one country. APC and PDP were all Nigerians. There's nothing personal against, we don't have anything personal against them. So what we have deployed, I am telling you, it's better than what we know they are trying to do, to ensure that there is free contest and that whoever wins will know that you have won or you have lost. And that we expect the technology to come into play so that by the time you see exactly what's happening, you know whether you're losing or you're winning. And we feel it's one of the strategies that will avoid violence, because if there's a contest and you see the truth, you should be able to access it.
It's clear. Okay. Do you trust the INEC at all? Do you think the INEC is capable of delivering a free and fair mandate?
Honestly, for now, we have no reason to doubt INEC, because if nothing, we know they are under tremendous pressure from the government to postpone the election because the government has seen the writing clearly on the wall that they're going to lose the election. And INEC, through their chairman, Jega, have refused to budge. They've consistently said that elections will take place on the 14th and on the 28th. So I think so far so good. The only thing we're not sure of, whether they are really prepared, because last election in 2011, Jega came out a day to the election to announce the whole world that they were ready, all things are on ground at the stations, that elections were going to be conducted. Only for us midday, when PDP was losing the election everywhere, for him to come and cancel the election to say that, sorry, that some of the materials were not delivered. So we just hope INEC have learned from the experiences of the past to ensure that everything is on ground so that there will be no cause for alarm. For now, as I said, we have confidence in them for now. So
it's interesting that you say that, because I also know that the INEC, for instance, announced a few days ago that almost 30 million Nigerians do not have PVCs or permanent voting cards. The update to that is that, of course, they're trying to supply as many of them as they can each day. But it still seems like there's quite a large number of Nigerians who may be disenfranchised if the vote were to be conducted today. Are you still willing to go by, whatever decision INEC comes up with without these people being properly enfranchised?
Well, for now, from what INEC says, that these materials or these PVCs, the permanent voter register cards, are at local government headquarters, which means the onus is not on INEC now, but on the people to go and collect them.
Okay.
And we are sensitizing. Wherever we go on campaign, one of the cardinal things we tell the people that, look, you must go and collect your PVCs, because these are the only things that will guarantee you to choose to vote for whoever you want.
Okay.
So as far as we're concerned, if INEC is saying what they're saying is true, which I think to some extent is true, I can give an example about my local government. At one time, I knew the cards were at the local government headquarters. So we had to make an arrangement to call on INEC to please go to different wards to deliver them. So I think if what happened in my local government, it's exactly what's happening in other parts of the country, which means, yes, INEC has delivered, the onus on the people to go and collect.
Okay, fantastic. Now, one question that keeps popping up, which is hard for anybody to sweep under the carpet, is that General Buhari has been described as many as a Muslim autocrat. And people feel like Christians are going to be sidelined when it comes to power. A friend of mine that I was having a discussion with actually pointed out, rightfully or wrongfully, that even General Buhari's shadow cabinet is overwhelmed with Muslims at the expense of Christians. Is this a fair statement to make?
It is not. Well, first of all, it's a perception of, opponents. Because in 2003, when Buhari came out the first time, he, went along with a staunch Roman Catholic, in the name of late Chuba Okadipo. Who was from the southeast part of this country. And in 2007, he went with another staunch Catholic, Roman Catholic, in the name of late Ume Ezeoke. And in 2011, he went for a pastor, Pastor Tunde Bakari. And this time around too, he went for another senior pastor. So you see, whenever anybody says that he is a religious bigot or something, you cannot stop your opponents from saying whatever. But now what do you say about the President Goodluck, who goes about in churches, preaching, making policy statements? You have never ever seen Muhammadu Buhari in the pulpit or in the mosque saying anything. We never said that. And then we also tell our Christian brothers, what has religion got to do with this kind of thing? Are the Christians in Nigeria now doing better than the Muslims because President Jonathan Goodluck, a Christian, is the president? Come on. Look, we call on the Nigerian public to stop talking or thinking about religion. This is personal. Whatever your religion is personal. We're talking about issues. The issues at stake are, look, there is no security in this country. We need to secure this country. We are talking about the economy is bad. We're talking about money being stolen each day. When we talk about these kind of things, they will say Buhari is ill. When we talk about the missing girls, they will say Buhari has no certificate. When we talk about the $20 billion missing, they will say, well, Buhari needs to go for medical checkup. You know, these kind of things, instead of us talking about the issues. Now, how do you secure this country? 3, 4, 5 days ago, 1,400 Nigerian soldiers were overrun in Monguno, a day after the commander-in-chief went visiting the state. I mean, these are the issues that disturb us in this country. Not a matter of whether somebody is a Muslim or is a Christian. Just like as I said,
fair enough, Honorable.
Are better than Muslims in this country because Jonathan is the president.
Fair enough. My time is eaten up, but I have some really important questions. If you can please squeeze them in within the shortest possible time, I'll be really grateful. The first one is this: as a ranking member of the general's campaign team, what would you say are the 3 top items on his priority list?
1, securing the country, because without peace, without security, you cannot do nothing. 2, employment, because more than 60% of the Nigerian youth are unemployed, whether they've gone to school or not. 3, fighting corruption in this country. These are the 3 cardinal things that, we talk about in our campaigns, and these are the things that we're going to meet on head on when we come to power.
Okay, and I'm just curious, what kind of demographic appeals, does your party or does your candidate most appeal to? Can you give us an idea?
Well, the youth. Now, like tomorrow in the city of Lagos, the Nigerian youth are arranging fundraising dinner for General Muhammadu Buhari. And then the southwest of this country, where in the recent past, would not go on any alliance with us, with, somebody from the north. It has come to be. And when you go to southeast or south-south, look, the whole country is galvanized now to make sure PDP goes away. And not just PDP, the president who leads this country. So now it is, we are one country, one people. One person in the name of President Jonathan Goodluck is the thorn in our flesh. He is incompetent. He cannot do it. We have nothing personal against him. He's our president. We love him as our president. But then look, how do you stay with somebody who does not know the difference between left and right?
Okay. Honorable, Boko Haram is a matter that will not go away. What's the general strategy for dealing with Boko Haram? You already mentioned that security is at the top of his priority list.
Well, first of all, to ensure the military is properly kitted, because the Nigerian military are, we know them. They have gone to Liberia and fought. They've gone to Sierra Leone. They've gone to Congo. They've gone to all parts of the world, which means with motivation and right equipment, right leadership, right commander-in-chief, they will be able to work. So the Nigerian military will be kitted. They will be reinvigorated. They will go through the doctrine, the necessity of warfare, so that they will crush these bandits. Because to us, they're just bandits.
Sorry to intervene, Honorable, but I've heard the president say stuff similar to what you're saying right now. In fact, I heard that he's announced a $1 billion loan, which is supposed to go to equip the Nigerian military, for instance.
Well, now the difference between us and him is that he has consistently spoke about dealing with Boko Haram, and he has not. The president himself said there are Boko Haram members in his cabinet. And up till now, we've not seen anybody being prosecuted for that. So look, Nigerians know that it is all lies from the president, but this is a man in General Buhari who has never lied to Nigerians. So, it's either Nigerians want to continue with somebody who keeps lying, or Nigerians would want to test somebody that has been tested in making his words and as his bond.
Thank you so much, Honorable Farouk Aliyu. But before we go, though, you also mentioned that both President Jonathan and General Buhari appended their signature to an accord that they would try as much as possible to prevent their supporters from any form of violence in Nigeria, which is what we're all praying for. In a hypothetical situation that the general loses the election, can you assure Nigerians that there will be no violence?
Absolutely.
If there is, he will have nothing to do with it?
No. That's why we told you we're deploying technology to ensure that, look, if we lose, we know we lose, and we will tell our supporters, look, we have lost, and the people's will must prevail. But then, what do you do with this other side, where some publications every day in TV, showing provocative things, which we have complained to the government. Also, a governor of PDP state putting pictures of past northern leaders that have died in office, putting General Muhammadu Buhari as the next person to die in office. So these are the kind of provocative statements that the government on the other side is doing. But we have refused joint issues with them, and we said we are not going to overheat the polity. So to us, I assure you, on behalf of General Muhammadu Buhari, the campaign council, we will go for this election. If we lose, fair and square, no, there will not be violence. Whether we lose through whichever means, there will not be violence, because we will call on our supporters that, look, it is not about killing each other, it's not about vandalization, but about rule of law. And Muhammadu Buhari has consistently gone to court, up to Supreme Court 3 times. For the 3 times he has contested the election. So how more genuine can somebody be?
Thank you so much, Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu. Your time is well appreciated, and we will definitely catch up with you in a couple of weeks' time when the mandate is announced, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, viewers, Honorable Farouk Aliyu, a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Commission. Stay tuned. There's more coming on Sahara TV.